Okay, I have returned. Yes, I've returned to review the Lorax. It was supposed to be on Friday, but sadly my phone passed away. I mean, not phone, but my phone. Sorry, I mean my phone died. I almost had passed away. But yes, I'm here to review this illumination film, the Lorax, which I meant to save before I got into the movie, but well. But yeah, I was having problems charging my phone because my cord got left at work, and I was waiting for my dad to bring it home, but he kept on. He wouldn't look at the Toyota. I get that he's working, but I need my phone charger. Honestly, my family kind of stresses me out a bit, honestly. They really do. They actually really, really stress me out. Anywho, let's talk about the 100th anniversary of Universal. The reason why I want to bring this up is because this is a new, intro. If you compare it to the other intros, like we had the other two from the last two films, it looks more cartoony, but here it looks more realistic. It looks more realistic but unlike Pixar, they kept the theme the same, but they updated the graphics. I kind of wish Pixar would have done that too. They would have upgraded the castle, but kept the original theme, you know. I said this actually looks pretty nice though. It really does. I like it. Anywho, it's no longer the 100th anniversary of Universal, but this is basically updating it because it's the 100th anniversary when this film came out. Anywho, it's time I get into the movie, I guess. So let's get into the movie and review it. Trees. Trees, trees, trees. Trees are so gorgeous. There are so many types of trees. Maples, ash trees, hickory nut trees, pine trees. The list goes on and on. Trees that are especially very beautiful around. They're very beautiful around, the fall, depending on where you're at. They can be beautiful during the spring too, but a lot of them do not change flowers. Do not bloom flowers. Trees are very important. Trees produce oxygen and give animals food that we need. That's correct, right? Yes. It is correct. No trees, no oxygen, no animals. In fact, Earth would be nothing but a dead planet like Mars or something. Anywho, how is the Lorax? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it meh? Well, that's what we're here to talk about. We start off the film where the Lorax is giving his speech in a play. I think it's a play. I mean, there's a curtain behind him. He talks about his story on the trees and all that, and how they're important. You know, he's not the only one to have a story. He's the one that opens the movie because it's called the Lorax. He's the Lorax, and that's what the movie's called. However, the Runstler or whatever it's called, whatever his name was. I think he's called a Onceler, actually. He's basically the one that tells the story. But since it's called Lorax, we gotta open it up with the Lorax. Now, I don't know why, like, he's in the film a lot, but it feels more like this is the Onceler story than the Lorax. The Onceler is telling his story, not the Lorax. I don't know, it probably would have been annoying to cut back and forth from this and the curtain. I don't know, him and the curtains, I don't know. But anywho, let's, the movie opens up, I should mention this, the movie opens up with a wonderful musical. This movie is kind of like a musical, kind of, sort of. There's a lot of characters that sing. And most of the songs are really good. Some of them not as much, but a lot of them, including the one that starts the movie off, after we get past the Lorax doing his speech, it actually is really good. It's really catchy. I really like it. I do. I do like the musical. It's really catchy. I wish I was very happy. I wish a lot of people were happy in certain towns and stuff. Everyone's singing here like it's Christmas, honestly. Like, seriously, I'm not kidding. You know, people get really cheery around the holidays. Anywho, I figured I should also talk about the parents, Ted's parents, and my thoughts on the animation itself. Okay, this is Ted with the striped shirt, and this is his mom and his grandma here. You know what's funny is their designs look like the Golden Girls. You know, their hairstyle and all that. And actually, I made a joke about that the second time I tried to record this, because the first time it messed up at the very beginning. But technically, the one with the gray curly hair, or with the pink dress, that's actually voiced by one of the Golden Girls, Betty White. She's, I think, 100 years old now, I think. She's old. She's an old lady. But yeah, but basically, I love the, like her, she's a great grandma. She's wise and she helps Ted out finding a tree, because basically Ted wants, to find a tree, a real life one, to impress his girlfriend. So Betty White here, she doesn't really have a name, but I call her Betty White because, that's the voice actor, Basically, tells Ted to go see the Onceler. The Onceler is the one who tells the story, like I said. Now, I don't know why they don't give her an actual name. They just call her Grandma, I guess. And, yeah, she's now unlike the grandma here, she's actually not as interesting, honestly. She doesn't really have much of a personality throughout the movie until, like, towards the end of the film. It's it's mainly just her and Ted that have, and have a personality. The mom doesn't really have a personality. She's just kind of just there, honestly, which is kind of a shame. I kind of wish they gave her more of a personality. I mean, they do later down the road, but for a while there, throughout the movie, it's mainly just her grandma here and Ted that really have a big personality. Like, she, which I'm gonna again call her Betty White because I don't know her actual name. Betty White here, basically, has wise advice. She's good at fooling her daughter, which is really interesting. The way she fools her daughter is actually kind of funny. Like at one point she pretends she loses her teeth, so that way she could go find them and that way she could tell Ted here the story about the Onceler. I don't know how she knows about the trees, honestly, and the Onceler. I really don't. Because the story never explains that. This movie never explains how she knows about the Onceler. She just does, I guess. She just knows about it, I guess. It doesn't really, it never explains why she how she knows about the Onceler or trees or all of that. And that goes for Ted's girlfriend too. We never know how she knows about trees either. She just does. I kind of wish they would have explained that in the movie too, honestly, a little bit. I don't know though. But basically, Betty here tells Ted in order to get the Onceler to talk to him and tell him the story, he needs to give him a great old snail and a couple coins, and I forgot the third thing. I did forget the third thing. But it's like weird, honestly. It's weird. Like, just think about this. I have to give someone an old rock, or an old turtle for them to talk to me. I don't know. It's just weird though. The way she has it, but it's still entertaining in some way, I guess. Anywho, I'm gonna get to the best part of the movie, honestly. Okay, before I start talking about my favorite part of the movie, I should talk about the Onceler's wife. Mom, I meant to say. She is basically, I do not like her. I absolutely hate her so much. I hate her. She basically she has no faith in her son. She treats him like scum all the time because his inventions don't work. I do not like her. I do not. And unlike the parents I've mentioned in the past, like the dad from Hop and then the mom from Despicable Me, she's on screen a lot longer, and she is very annoying. I do not like her. I hate her. I hate, actually, the family in general. They're just a bunch of dicks to the Onceler. They really are. But basically, we get to the Onceler, looking for a dream. He's looking for, a dream because he wants to please his family, because his family's never pleased with him. And he stumbles across this wonderful enchanted land. Alright, now we're finally at my favorite part of the film. Basically, he finds this enchanted forest filled with these landwood creatures, and and at first they start singing with him, and then they hate him, and then I guess they like him because of marshmallows. I don't know. It's really weird. It's a weird concept. I think it's kind of funny. But basically, this is the Onceler when he was younger, basically. And, yeah, I do like the creatures, I do. But basically, things go downhill when he starts to cut a tree down. But yeah, he chops down a tree and summons the Lorax. And I gotta say, the Lorax is kind of being a dick here, honestly. I mean, basically, that the Onceler only cut one tree down and he's throwing a hissy fit. I mean, yes, I know, I get mad at people when they cut some of the trees down in my yard. Actually, real quick, you see that baby one out there? That one with the leaves still on it? That Y-shaped one? That one's dead. And I would have been mad at my dad forever if he cut that down. But that's because it's a small one and there's not really that many trees left in my yard. There's tons of trees out here and he's complaining because he cut one down. I mean, I get that. I get that. You know, it's the environment. You want to protect the environment, but he only cuts one tree down at first. Then the Lorax starts after he basically drifts him off in the water and almost gets him killed in the waterfall because he had the creatures take his bed in the water. I do like the creatures in this movie. I really do like them. They're pretty cute and funny. But yeah, now I looked up who voices the Lorax, and I already forgot it. I think his name was David or something. I can't remember. Sorry if I can't remember. I would look it up, but I'm using my phone. Maybe in the future I'll probably go back and do all the classic Dr. Seuss shorts and review them as well. And then maybe I'll mention this stuff then. But yeah, basically, the Lorax is kind of treating, like, even when the Onceler promises he won't cut a tree, and he still invades his home, and he basically uses a toothbrush to shave his mustache. It's just I kind of feel bad for the Onceler. Basically, that leads to him. Well, the Lorax says he won't sell something, so he keeps trying and eventually gives up. And then at once, someone discovers one of his outfits he made from the trees, and then he decides to bring his family out. Yeah, his selfish ass family who treats him like shit. Decides to bring them out here, and they freaking cause disaster. They abuse the animals. They abuse them. They basically abuse all the animals. They basically his mother bitches about him it taking too long to get the cotton or whatever it's called away from the tree, so she has him cut him down. Basically threatening him. Well, not threatening him, but basically mocking him and saying he's a failure if he doesn't cut trees down. So yeah, their family is very selfish, and then at the end, they have a musical number, and then he cuts all the trees down, and his family basically ditches him. His mom says he was never proud of him and all that, and it's a freaking disaster, honestly, it really is. But for the most part, this part is the best part of the film. I think it looks the best. It looks the gorgeous. It looks the best. It's the best looking part of the film. I think it's okay. I mean, yeah, the Lorax is kind of being a little bit of a dick, but he's not nearly as bad as the Onceler's mother and family. I actually do like it. Unfortunately, this is the better part of the two. Because it cuts back and forth it cuts back and forth from this flashback to the actual present day part of the movie, and the present day part of the movie is not that interesting, honestly. It really isn't. It's not that interesting at all. I much rather watch this part, to be honest. I would. But yeah, I much rather watch this part of the movie, which is the flashback of the one sort of story, than to watch the actual film itself, which is saying something. Yeah, it's kind of split in my opinion. And I honestly, even in the backstory, I feel like I'm trying to figure out who's in the wrong here. The Lorax or the guy cutting the trees down, which is the Onceler. Both of them have issues. At first, the Lorax is being a dick because he cut one tree down and throwing a fit, and basically living in his home, basically